There is only love.
As I feel that love flowing through, I sense and know that this is a divine moment. One in which we allow that spiritual presence of who and what we are to come forth as a conscious experience. To rejoice in the idea of knowing this is the essence of who and what we are. Allowing ourselves to just bathe in that concept that this infinite intelligent all-knowing power is flowing in and through and as us in this moment. It's knowing that we can rejoice because we are here to share that awareness, to give it forth in everything we do. Knowing that the life that is enriched by it is our own. As I rejoice and know and accept that this infinite intelligence is doing the guiding, the directing, the expression, every aspect, the listening. I truly recognize this divine moment because it is the only moment that there is. I rejoice as I let the law of the universe bring forth that which I express, realizing the power in every word, every thought, every intention. I accept it and let it be so, knowing the blessings are many, and I appreciate the opportunity to be immersed in it and to be it in expression. All this I know with a heartfelt acceptance as I welcome each one to know it with me as we say together, and so it is. Good morning.
Morning.
Sometimes I love sharing on myself, and sometimes I question whether I really want people to know everything I go through. I had an experience in the last couple of days that I felt like as much as I know, as much as I express, as much as I work this, why do I go to these places of judgment, of absolute condemnation, and kind of a little bit of anger? And I realized that the things that come up like that, it's coming up to be healed. But you kind of think that, okay, I think enough has come up. I don't want any more to come up. That I want to be rid of all the experiences. So I went into this judgment process with this about somebody gave me a call, and I'm listening to the whole story, and I'm just hear myself just judging, and I'm trying to be polite, but I still hear that back talk just continuously going on. And oh God, don't they know better? I mean, how many more times? You know, all that kind of thinking. So I was sharing it with my friend Barbara, and she said, well, you can be an experiment for me. So I said, what? She said, I want this book about 15 seconds to peace, and I'm finding that it really works. So I really want examples, so I want you to try this. Every time that person's name comes up, you start listing the words that you would like to have experience about the person. And she said, if it's anger, think, I want to feel love when I think of that person. If it's judgment, think of compassion. for the person that is experiencing. And so she said, I've tried it, and it's amazing how your whole experience shifts. So the person's name can come up, and all of a sudden, there's no sense of feeling. Well, I started trying to think, you hear me, trying to think of the words that I wanted to experience. And so I found that when I did that, it did shift how I was feeling in the moment. Even though I found that even last night I woke up and the first thing I thought was another judgment. I said, okay, let me think of the words again. But what I found is that there's a lot of power in the thoughts we run through our mind. Because as soon as I start thinking of the word of things like compassion, caring, loving, it's almost like I feel a different energy inside of me. And I found myself going to a different place. So I agreed with her that I would be one of her sample cases, because she's looking for many of them, that I'm going to practice this. And she said eventually, as soon as the person's name come up, the words would come up rather than the other feeling. I'm still having to remind myself to think of the words, but I kind of know just from the feeling that there's a great potential for this to work. And so 15 seconds to world peace sounds like a good idea. So I said, okay, I'm going to share that, but I'm also going to invite everybody in this room to think, just try it. Try it on some incident, some sample of what's going on in our life, and see how many of us can actually work this where we have our own 15 seconds to peace. Because world peace is my peace. If I have peace, I'm all right with the world. So the idea is to me to fully embody that sense of peace. And I'm inviting you to let's try it together and see how many of us can actually effectively work this system. And thank you for letting me share.
There is only